I don't want to eat this. Go and prepare pounded yam and vegetable soup for me.
I'm very tired tonight. Perhaps another time.
What exactly do you do in this house? You can't even cook a proper meal and still no child to show for it.
Lucas, your mother refused the food I served her. Then she insulted me and shamed me for not giving you children.
How dare you disrespect my mother? Is it not enough that you can't give me children?
Is that all you have to say? After everything I did for you?
What did you do for me? You should be grateful I married an old woman like you.
Old woman? At 35? Victoria Adams was 35. Beautiful, accomplished, and fiercely independent. She had a high-paying job, her own apartment, a sleek car, and a family who adored her. Her father, Chief Adams, was a respected businessman in Lagos, and her brothers had all found success and started families of their own. Yet, Victoria remained single. She had attended more weddings than she could count, enduring the same pointed question at each one. When will it be your turn? She wasn't desperate, not exactly, but she was weary, tired of being the only one at the table without a plus one, tired of watching her brother's children grow while her own arms remained empty, tired of pretending that time wasn't slipping past her. Every tick of the clock reminded her that life was moving forward while she felt frozen in place. Then, Lucas Adewale came into her life, 38, confident, charming, attentive, and irresistibly persuasive. From their first conversation, he made her feel seen in a way no one ever had. His eyes lingered with interest, his compliments felt genuine, and his laughter made her forget her exhaustion, if only for a moment. When he asked her to marry him, she clutched at that love with both hands. Her father gave his blessing. Chief Adams was practical, but respected her choices, and he saw the spark in her eyes whenever she spoke of Lucas. But her brothers were wary. "He is not your class," Victor, her eldest brother, warned. "We looked into him. His business is struggling. You are walking into trouble." Victoria stood firm. "I love him," she said simply, "and I am not getting any younger." Against advice, against caution, she married Lucas. At first, life was blissful. The early months were filled with laughter, late-night conversations, and tender moments. Lucas was attentive, introducing her proudly as my wife, the only daughter of Chief Adams. Victoria felt cherished. She imagined a future of shared dreams, perhaps even children. She felt hope, something she had quietly begun to lose over the years. But the cracks appeared slowly, almost imperceptibly. Lucas's trading business struggled. Payments were delayed, stock stagnated, suppliers grew impatient. One night, as they sat in the living room, he sighed. "Oh, if only I had capital. Everything would change," he said, his voice heavy with frustration. Victoria didn't hesitate. Against her brother's advice, she transferred a substantial sum from her savings into his account. "Stock up, expand," she urged. "You can do this, Lucas." And expand he did. Within months, Lucas's life transformed. New deals, new contacts, better cars, tailored suits that fit like armor. His confidence grew, soon bordering on arrogance. When he announced that he wanted a house, she supported him again. "This rent life is beneath us. We need something befitting our status," he said one evening. Victoria contributed once more, her heart swelling with pride as the mansion rose in a prime area of Lagos, gleaming, elegant, undeniably impressive. She imagined the years of happiness within those walls. Until one night, Lucas said casually, "This is the perfect house for someone of my status." Her chest tightened. When had our become my? She had unknowingly built a palace that felt more like a gilded cage. 2 years later, the first blow came. A knock on the door revealed Lucas's mother, stiff and imperious, her eyes cold, her lips pressed into a thin line. "Mama," Victoria's voice faltered. Mama, I didn't know you were coming. You didn't tell us," Victoria began. The woman cut her off, sharp and unyielding. "I informed my son, the owner of this house. I don't need anyone else's permission." That evening, Lucas's casual confirmation landed like a hammer. "Yes, I knew she was coming," he said with a shrug. Why didn't you tell me? Victoria whispered. I don't need your permission to invite my mother, he replied coldly. And from that moment, life as Victoria knew it ended. Nothing she did was right. Her meals were tasteless, her greetings disrespectful, her silence suspicious. Lucas always sided with his mother. Every attempt to please or assert herself was met with subtle rebuke or outright scorn. One evening, after Victoria had spent hours preparing dinner, her mother-in-law demanded pounded yam and vegetable soup. I'm sorry, Mama, I'm very tired tonight. Perhaps another time, Victoria said gently. Her mother-in-law stepped closer, eyes narrowing, voice low and sharp. Do you think this house exists for your comfort? A wife serves her husband's family. You can't even cook a proper meal and still no child to show for it. How long do you expect us to tolerate this? When Lucas returned, Victoria expected at least a word of defense. Instead, he sneered. How dare you disrespect my mother, he snapped. Is it not bad enough that you can't give me children, yet you cannot obey her? Something inside Victoria snapped. Tears streamed down her face. Lucas, is that all you have to say? How can you treat me like this after everything I did for you? What did you do for me? He scoffed. Is it that small money you gave for my business or the peanuts you contributed to this house? You should be grateful I married an old woman like you. If not for me, no man would have married you. Victoria stood frozen. An old woman? At 35? From then on, disrespect became the norm. Lucas stayed out of it, often returning reeking of perfume that wasn't hers. Lipstick stains went unchecked. When she confronted him, he shoved her aside, shouting, What do you want me to come home early for? You useless, barren woman. All my friends are fathers. I'm stuck with you. And through it all, his mother smiled. Peace came briefly when her mother-in-law traveled. For a few weeks, the house was quiet. Victoria could breathe again, move freely, think clearly, even imagine that the life she had built might finally belong to her. But the calm did not last. The day her mother-in-law returned, she did not come alone. She arrived with a girl barely in her 20s, fresh-faced, radiant, smiling as though she was stepping into a future carefully prepared for her.
That evening, seated in the dining room,
her mother-in-law cleared her throat and spoke with unmistakable pride. Let me introduce the newest member of this family. This is Scarlet, my son's new wife. Victoria froze. The spoon slipped from her hand and clattered softly against the floor. Her heart slammed painfully against her ribs. What? She gasped. Mama, how can you bring another woman into my home? Her voice trembled with disbelief and fury. But no one listened. Lucas smiled, wide, confident, and cruel. Thank you, Mama, for bringing me someone young, someone who can give me children. The word struck harder than any slap. That night, Victoria did not sleep. She sat alone in the vast echoing corridors of the mansion, replaying the humiliation again and again. Every polished surface, every carefully chosen detail of the house now mocked her, silent reminders of betrayal. By morning, Lucas wasted no time. He ordered her to vacate the matrimonial room. Victoria packed quietly, her dignity stretched thin. As she lifted her last bag, Scarlet walked in, rolling her luggage behind her, stepping into the space Victoria once occupied with pride. Every corner of the room seemed to whisper the same truth. Victoria was now invisible. The mansion, once a sanctuary she had helped build, had become a stage where she was merely an observer of her own displacement. Months later, Scarlet announced her pregnancy. From that moment, cruelty became routine. Each day reminded Victoria that she had no voice, no authority, no claim to respect. She cooked, she cleaned, she obeyed. Every instruction, no matter how trivial, was delivered like a verdict. One evening, Scarlet craved fresh fish and demanded that Victoria go to the market. Exhausted, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, Victoria refused. Her refusal ignited a storm. Her mother-in-law burst into tears, theatrically accusing Victoria of disrespect. Lucas stormed into the room, his face twisted with rage. "Is what my mother said true?" demanded he. "No," Victoria replied, her voice shaking, but her spine slowly straightening. "How dare you call my mother a liar?" he roared. "You cannot give me a child, and you cannot even serve the woman who will." He flung money at her feet and pointed towards the door. "Go to the market, buy the fresh fish now." When she hesitated, he shoved her outside and locked the door behind her. Victoria walked through the Lagos heat like a ghost, buying the fish, preparing the soup, completing each task mechanically. Every movement was steeped in humiliation. When she finally collapsed on her bed, it was not sleep that claimed her, but total exhaustion. In the stillness, clarity broke through her pain like sunlight through storm clouds. Lucas had never loved her. He had never cared. She had not failed at love, she had been used. She had been valued only for her resources, her patience, her sacrifices, the money she poured into his business, the mansion she helped build. None of it had been love. It had all been leverage. And yet, in that painful realization, something powerful stirred. For the first time, Victoria felt strength. Fear, shame, and societal expectations no longer held power over her. Lucas and his family tried to break her, to bend her into submission, but Victoria Adams was unbroken. A quiet fire ignited within her, burning away humiliation and despair. She would no longer live as a shadow in a house she built. She would not be silenced. She would rise. And in the stillness of that night, Victoria made a vow. The next chapter of her life would belong entirely to her.
The next day, Victoria packed her personal belongings into her car and left the house. That night, for the first time in years, she slept in her father's home, and for the first time in a long while, she slept without fear. Weeks later, she filed for divorce. Lucas did not protest. He did not beg. He did not insult her. He did not even pretend to care. He signed every document without reading twice. He believed he was now a self-made man. He believed the season of needing her was over. Healing, however, was not immediate for Victoria. Some mornings she woke up gasping, her heart racing as if the past still clung to her chest. Some nights she dreamed of locked doors, of smacks and whispered insults echoing through empty hallways. But she refused to remain broken. She enrolled in executive courses, determined to sharpen her mind. She reconnected with old business partners. She invested wisely, this time listening carefully to counsel. Slowly, her confidence returned, her body regained strength, her eyes regained light, and she began to laugh again, not loudly but genuinely, the kind of laughter belonged entirely to her. Months later, news reached her. Lucas's new wife, Scarlet, had delivered a baby boy. People expected Victoria to cry. She did not. What she did not yet know, but would soon discover, was that the house that had once crushed her was now burning from within. Scarlet had tolerated Lucas's mother only briefly. She understood that Lucas desperately needed a child to prove his manhood to the world and shift blame for the years of childlessness away from himself. But Scarlet was no naive girl. She had waited patiently, and now, with a healthy, bouncing baby boy, her position in the household was solidified. She intended to teach the old woman her place. She was neither polite nor afraid. "You cannot speak to me the way you spoke to Victoria," she told Lucas's mother one evening. Her voice steadied. "This is my husband's house. You cannot order me around. If you are uncomfortable, go back to the village." Arguments became daily occurrences. Scarlet refused to follow the older woman's commands. She decided what was cooked in the kitchen. She would not tolerate disrespect. She demanded to be treated as Lucas's wife and as the mother of his child. One afternoon, the older woman tried to impose herself on the kitchen again. Scarlet calmly locked the door behind her. "I will not let you squander my husband's money," she said, cold and firm. "You will eat what the rest of us are eating." The older woman raised her hand, ready to strike. Scarlet caught it mid-air and shoved it away. "I am not Victoria," she said, eyes blazing. "I will not be treated like her." That evening, Scarlet dropped the bomb. "If she doesn't leave this house," she said, quietly, deliberately, "I will leave with my son." Lucas froze. His mother laughed at first, the sound sharp, incredulous, dismissive. But as the words sank in, Her laughter faltered. Realization dawned. The girl was serious. Lucas tried to speak. He tried to shout. He tried to command. Nothing worked. Finally, reluctantly, shamefaced, he approached his mother. "Mama, maybe you should go back to the village for some time," he muttered, voice hesitant, betraying both fear and respect. Tears sprang to her eyes, but her voice was a storm. "You are sending me away because of a woman?" she cried. "I carried you in my womb for 9 months. I raised you when your father died. Is this how you repay me?" She beat her chest. She cursed. She reminded him of every sacrifice she had made, every sleepless night, every battle fought to raise him alone. Lucas stood silent, caught in the impossible tension between the woman who had raised him and the mother of his child. For the first time, the balance of power in that household had shifted. The woman who had once bent beneath the weight of cruelty was gone. In her place stood Scarlet, a force that would no longer tolerate oppression, and a new era had quietly begun.
Subscribe for new African tales, African stories, African folk tales, and tales by Moonlight every week.